that says, stand right here on this play. We're talking about game management. Managing your game. But if you get this part right, the rest of it is so much easier. Naturally, though, it's the toughest one.
When we say game management to you guys, what does that mean?
Predicting plays.
Predicting the plays? Okay.
Understanding where to be if there's a certain type of play that's going to run.
Okay. Anything else?
The pace of the game, controlling the tempo.
Pace of the game. What about the players?
Avoiding competition, becoming players and officials.
Avoiding competition. Okay.
Understanding the pace of the game and understanding the level of intensity.
All right. So you're going to raise your level up if it's more intense?
I mean, just understanding, you know, how tight are you calling the penalties? You know, if it's a really competitive game, players should be knowing better.
Okay.
If it's a rec game, you understand that there's probably a lot more just incidental contact, things like that. And also, you know, with a really high intensity game, you'll probably tighten down, especially on things like this with unsportsmanlike conducts and things like that, warnings, making sure you're a lot more strict with the players because they're going to have a higher intensity.
Okay, so I heard a D1 college basketball ref tell me game management is getting to the next play. That's all it is. If we get to the next play, we did our job. All right? So when those situations arise, we need to address them. All right? Now, if two guys start jawing at each other, we're just not going to walk away from that situation. We're the official, we're the mediator in between the two teams. That means we have to address it. Okay? We have to say something to them. When we say preventative officiating, what do we mean by that?
Experiences like that from happening.
Okay. Stopping stuff like that from happening. What is it? Let's see. Let's be more tangible with it instead of just talking to them. That's the wrong way to say it. I'll just tell you guys. Preventative officiating is talking them out of flags or penalties before they even happen. All right? So we have a bunch of guys lined up right in the line, and there's a bunch of rushers looking. They're going to come right at them. What do we tell them? Watch the contact. Watch the contact. Watch the contact, because there will be a flag there. The guy lines up offsides. You're the line judge. You can see he's offside. Tell him to back up. You can stop that right away before we even have to throw a flag.
What tools do we have to manage games? Voice, whistle, good. Why is voice important? Everyone? Okay. Confidence. There it is right there. Okay. Somebody in the last group said being loud. Being loud is fine. How many people here would call themselves an introvert, though? Maybe a more quiet person. We've got a lot of experts here. And that's fine if you are. Okay. You can be an outstanding official and not ever raise your voice. Okay. Sometimes that makes the best officials because they're always cool, calm, and cool. All right. However, you do have to speak confidently and succinctly. God, I can't get that word out. Okay, so you need to be correct and short with your descriptions to players. All right. Somebody mentioned whistle. Why is whistle important?
Because everyone will hear that. It's like the easiest way to get everyone's attention.
The number one tool. Absolutely, hit the nail right on the head. Everybody knows we're ready to talk. We're the only people that have this. Voice is everybody's got, right? Players use them a lot, just as much as we need to. In fact, probably way more than that. But we're the only ones with a whistle, and it's got to be sharp. Game management, you can't do anything with game management if your whistle sounds like that. It starts with this. Practice it. If you're not good at it at first, small little bite, one sharp blow. It sound like that every single time. Okay, what else? Whistle, voice. What other tools do we have to manage a game? Penalty flags, absolutely. So we try to use our voice right and talk them out of things, but then we have a flag. They don't listen to that, then what's our next tool? What's that? Ejection on sportsmanlike conduct, right? So we don't try to go 2 minutes into the game and throw an immediate unsportsmanlike. We try not to. There are situations that I'm sure can describe where that's needed. However, we try to make that elevated from there. It's like when you were young and you were in trouble with your parents, right? You got a little warning, then it got a little further, then you were grounded. They started calling you by your middle name, right? And that's no good. Okay? Yes, sir.
About that, how many warnings should you give a player?
Depends on the type of game and what your experiences are with that player. Okay, the question was, how many warnings do we give a player? Okay, generally, rule of thumb, a warning. But it depends on what that warning is. Is it just like, hey, watch the flag guard? Or is it, I've had enough? There's a difference between those two warnings, right? Okay, other things that we have, preventative officiating, we talked about with Ryan there. And then know your captains. Know their names. They'll help you get out of certain situations.
As officials, are we allowed to talk to the players? Yes, we are encouraged to talk to the players. When I was right where you guys were a couple years ago, they never said anything like that, the people who were the clinicians. I thought, you know, the officials were over here, the players were over here. We're not allowed to talk to them. That is completely opposite of what we want to do, okay? Talk to the players early and create that rapport. Meaning that if I have a problem with Robert and Eric's on his team, I'm going to go up to Eric and be like, hey, I'm having a problem with your player over here. Can you take care of him for me? I don't want to do anything I don't have to. All right, can you take care of him for me? 9 times out of 10, he will help his own team out. All right? Now, I only did that because I created rapport with him first. All right? By talking to him from the very beginning of the game. Now, I'm not having 20-minute conversations with him. I'm asking how he's doing. Hey, watch the flag guarding right there, all right? Good play right there. Just small things like that. All right, can I have a volunteer, please? Someone. Man in the back. All right. So, you're the official, I'm the player, all right? You just threw a pass interference call when I went past the guy and hit the ball, all right? I'm coming up to you. Hey, why'd you call that? I hit the ball. I hit the ball. Where are you, ref?
Well, you know, I feel it's like a fair call, so I don't think you should come up to me like that.
You think it's a fair call? I don't think it's a fair call.
You need to watch your turn first, and then, you know, calm down.
How did you call it, though? I hit the ball. I hit the ball.
That you hit the player first, and then you hit the ball.
Okay, that's good. That's not bad. You're good, thank you. All right, see how that conversation, it was a little bit lengthy, all right? And it was about a 30-second conversation. We need to have those conversations down to about 10 seconds, all right? From, hey, I thought it was legal. I had a different look on it, all right? Those little sentences right there will get you out of so much. You'll learn those through experiences. You'll have that minute conversation that you're not supposed to, all right? And then you'll be like, oh man, I really screwed up. I shouldn't have had that conversation. So we're gonna keep it short as best as possible.
Next part is being proactive. Okay, we talked about that a lot, the preventative officiating stuff. But is dipping your shoulder always a penalty? No, it's not, right? If somebody pulls the flag and they get no advantage on it, it's not. But what are you going to tell them? Watch your shoulders. So that way you don't have to throw a flag. That way you're not ready for it the next time. You talk them out of it. Now if they do it again, now you have the tool, which is a flag. You use your voice. People run some different offenses here. This one is the spread offense, okay? This one, if you ever see this, it's going to spread the field wide. You have a blocker in front. Their idea is to spread it out and chuck it around, okay? If you ever see teams line up like this, know that it's going to be medium-type passes. Medium-type passes. Flip it around. Our next offense is the option, okay? You see the offense do this a lot. You can start to squeeze in as the back judge, right? Because you know that they're not throwing the ball down the field. They're running the option. Okay, there's about 4 or 5 different offenses that people will run out here. My favorite is the old draw in the sand and just get open. But if you start to see this out of teams, right? We scout. When people watch college and pro football, right? They scout offense and defense, right? Because they want to know what the offense or the defense is doing before they do it. It's the same thing with being an official. If you can know what the offense is going to do, you have the best job of putting yourself in the right position. You have the best chance of doing that. Okay? So recognize, once you start seeing this stuff, recognize that in offense. All right? This is the toughest thing, guys. One tangible thing to give you all, use your voice. Use your voice when you're out there talking to people. The rest of the stuff, it will come in time. But use your voice and talk to players. I'm going to harp on that when I see that. All right? Hold on, guys. We're headed to...
Yeah,
well,
rotating this way.
I think there's a break. So. Yep, take a break.